Hello everyone, myself Swati Jevan Kokate from Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Students, we were studying civics lesson number 5, that is working of institutions. In that we have seen that why the institutions are made, okay, or what is the work of the institutions. Then we have seen that different institutions are there, okay, and how they perform their activities for the good conduct or for the we can say proper administration of the country or as a government. So in that we have seen the government order, okay. Then who are the decision makers? In that, if only the government is working, it will be like, we can say, it is taking all the actions or whatever decisions is taken, then there will be no sense of democracy, isn't it? If it is not taking, or if the center point is not the public or the society, then it will be called as no democratic rules or like this. So opposing government decisions, decision makers, all these things we have seen this. What were the things in process of taking a major policy decision? So major policy decisions were taken through a government order, and to know the process of these major policy decisions, this is important to know about government order and its issuing. So a proper conduct should be there or a proper procedure should be there, okay, whatever things are there this institution is doing, or that for that a proper system is there. Under that we have seen the government order, how it issues the government order, that is a memorandum. What is office memorandum? A formal record we have seen to keep the report, or it is a formal report. Then we have seen that example, we have seen how the issue was there or of 27% reservation for socially and educationally backward class, isn't it? There we have seen how it was passed or what were the procedures for that. Then we are going to see, we have decision makers. Who were the decision makers? We have seen that President, Prime Minister, Parliament, and in Parliament we have seen Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So what is the President? What decision he has the right to take? So he is the head of the state and is at the highest formal authority in the country. And Prime Minister, he is the head of the government and actually exercises all the governmental powers. He takes most of the decisions of the cabinet meetings. And in Parliament we have seen that how the legislature has taken the decisions and whether they are implementing or no, in that we have seen executive. And now when it comes to judiciary part, it is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or when the things are implemented, this house is composed for electing representatives of the people, and the Rajya Sabha or the upper houses of the interest of state or union territories, and the Prime Minister must have the support of majority of Lok Sabha members. So here, what is this? What is opposing government decisions? We are going to see. If some people associate or the associations are not satisfied the government's order, now we have seen that in 27% reservations, what the other people will get? They will be dissatisfied because they have to struggle a lot for the government seats, for the government job opportunities. Even though they are eligible, they have made a lot of it for that post, but then too if they don't get, they will be not happy with the decision of the government. So there is opposing government decision, and if some people or the association is not satisfied by the government's order, there is a dispute regarding government's order, that and they can file the case in the Supreme Court or in the High Court. For example, we have seen the person had filed a case in the government of India for 27% of reservation. I have told you. This case was known as Indira Sone and other versus Union of India case. So, this is the name given to that case, fine. Then why there is need for political institutions? Whether this can be done on the own, isn't it? So, what is the need for the political institutions? Because the arrangements made in the democracy to take and to implement decisions, we see what is wrong and what is right in case of disputes. So, whenever there is dispute, we have to see whether what thing is right and we should have a conclusion on it. So, without the functions of this task assigned to political institutions, we can say that the democracy cannot work, and the institution involves, and yes, obviously it should follow rules and regulations which can bind the hands of the leaders. So, whatever comes to the mind of the leaders or the decision makers, it is not the thing, they have to follow the rules and regulations. Now, we are going to see what is parliament, fine. Here we have seen what are the needs of political constitutions. Like we have seen the civil servants working or the Supreme Courts is an institution which where disputes between citizens and these were settled down. This we have seen here. Then we are going to see this parliament, fine. We are going to come to the subtopic parliament. Parliament, what is a parliament? It is a set of people elected regularly by people of the country. So, who are this, what is this parliament? It is a, just note down children, it is a set of people elected regularly by the people of the country, directly through direct elections or indirectly, fine. All the decisions taken by the government, before implementations are put in the parliament for discussion. So, what happens here? When all the decisions taken by the government, first they are put before for the implementation in the parliament for discussion. So, proper discussion should be there between this all people, among this all people we can say. So, decisions can be implemented only after the approval of the parliament. So, here why then, what is the main points here? The report of Mandal Commission was discussed. The President of India mentioned this in like this, and the Prime Minister made a decision, or the decision was not directly taken by the parliament itself, but parliamentary discussion was there on the report influenced and it shaped the decision of the government. So, like this recommendation means to put forward our view, and implementation means taking actions on that, fine. So, there is a question again, fine, why do we need a parliament? So, we need a parliament for the following reasons we can say, because see, this question can be directly asked for brief answers, for 4 to 5 marks answers, okay. So, parliament is the final authority for making new laws and changing existing laws in the country. So, who has the right to make laws, new laws, and if anything is there, what changes are required? Okay, this parliament has. This is the first function or the need of parliament. In India, the control of parliament over the government is direct and full. So, who is having the control of parliament over the government? Means see, okay, for take an example that some government is formed, okay. then there may be a chance that now they think that everything is in our hand and we can do whatever we want. Then what is the meaning of the democracy? It will not be a means the only one person or the government which has come. It has a look, means it should have an eye also that what things it is performing. So who has having this right to have a look over or the control of parliament over this government? It is direct or full. So those who run the government can take decisions only as long as they have the support of the parliament. So it should ask, means whenever decisions are taken, they can take the decisions only when the parliament supports it. If the parliament says refuses, it does not have the right to take that action or to implement that. Parliament controls all the money that government has. So from now you will ask from where this money again came, isn't it? So whatever taxes, whatever money is collected, it is the public's money. From where these people will bring the money? Are they having a tree or they are having lot of money? No, isn't it? This is the societies or the public in general, whatever tax, direct, indirect, whatever things they are collecting, what thing happens? The parliament, it controls all the money that government has. So there is a chance that the government, when it gets lots of money of the public, it may use it however it wants. In most countries, the public money can be spent only when the parliament sanctions it. So the government has the right to use the money for the society only when the parliament allows or when you can say sanctions it. So before that, the government has to take the sanction letter that this is sanctioned and we are doing these activities. So next one is parliament is the highest forum of discussion and debate on public issues. Okay. See, parliament, now we are going to see that parliament controls, we have seen this, all the money, and then fourth one, it is the highest forum of discussion and debate on public issues and national policy in our country. Parliament can seek information about any matter. So there should be transparency, means parliament, it should know each and everything, and whatever the debates, discussions are there, it should be in front of the, means it has the highest forum, it has all the rights to know each and everything. Now we are going to see one more subtopic of parliament, that is two houses of parliament. You know already. So these parliaments, it plays a very important role in modern democracy. And what happens, large countries are divided and have the role of the powers and parliament into two parts, and they are called the chambers of houses, which are the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And houses of people, that is lower chamber, is usually directly elected by the people, and it exercises or does the real power on behalf of the people. So when Lok Sabha, in Lok, this word only you can see there is society or the people, and Rajya Sabha, it is the council of states. Lok Sabha is the house of people and Rajya Sabha is the council of states of upper chamber. It is indirectly elected and performs special functions such as interest of various states, regions and federal units. So like this it is involved for states. And the President of India is a part of parliament, although she is not a member of either house. Due to this reason, all laws made in the houses come into force only after they receive the assent of the President. So if this question can be asked for, like, who means Prime Minister or President, so this all laws made in the houses come into force only after they receive the assent of whom? President or Prime Minister? It is President. Fine. So, we have read about the Indian Parliament in earlier classes also. Let us see some of the points here. What is the total number of members? Who elects the members? You have seen, okay. Can the house be dissolved in the permanent house? It permanently and all these questions you have to just study for your previous revision, recall. So, which of the two houses is more powerful? It might appear that Rajya Sabha is more powerful, or sometimes the upper chamber and the Lok Sabha also, or the lower chamber. But this does not mean that Rajya Sabha is more powerful than Lok Sabha. This is just an old style of speaking that language in our constitutions. Only constitutions does give the power, the Rajya Sabha some special powers, that is over the states. But on most matters what happens? The Lok Sabha exercises supreme powers. So, like this, which is very important or which has the least importance, that is not the matter here. So, we have seen this, an ordinary law needs to be passed by both the houses, but if there is difference between the two houses, the final decision is taken in a joint session in which members of both the houses sit together, and because of the larger number of members, the view of Lok Sabha is likely to prevail in such a meeting. Fine. So, and the second point here is the Lok Sabha exercises more powers. Once the Lok Sabha passes the budget of the government or any other money related to law, the Rajya Sabha cannot reject it, and the Rajya Sabha also can, it can delay the decisions it by 14 or just changes in it. So, if it is not accepted, means if they do not take any actions on this decision related, so after 14 days what thing will happen here? So, it will be automatically passed, means if they do not have any objection over it. And the third one here is most important, that the Lok Sabha controls the councils of ministers. Only a person who enjoys the support of majority. This point is very important because see, when the Lok Sabha controls the councils of ministers, and if it does not have the majority of members in Lok Sabha, is appointed in the Prime Minister, if this majority say they have no confidence, that is no majority, then the councils of ministers, all ministers like including Prime Ministers, they have to quit. Fine. The Rajya Sabha does not have this power. So, who has this power? Lok Sabha has, and if they do not have the majority, even the Prime Minister, he has to quit. So, this is that a day in the life of Lok Sabha, that was ordinary day like 14th Lok Sabha. Let us have a look at what happened to the course of the day and identify the role and powers of the Parliament on this basis, proceeding for the days as given below. So, 11 various ministers gave written answers about 250 questions that were asked by the members, included what is the government's policy, see different questions were there, what is the government doing about various prices for medicines by big companies. Then at 12 o'clock a large number of official documents were presented, recruitment rules of Indo-Tibetan borders policies. So, these all things were discussed here. One example is given, like how they had different questions at what time, like agenda it is given, you can read, go through these simple things. So, we are going to see one more very important topic, subtopic of this, political executive. So, how this person or what is the political, you can say, influence, or how these people have the right to execute. To execute means what? Yeah, what? See, executing means the word here, right, it tells that having the right or the authority to do the things, to execute the things. So, we have seen memorandum, isn't it? What was memorandum? A formal record, and how we found that a person who signed the document did not take this decision. All means many of them had to see. So, he was only the executing policy, or the policy decision was taken by someone else. Like we noted the role of Prime Minister in taking that decisions, but we also know that we could not have taken the decision if it was not support from the Lok Sabha, and in that sense we cannot execute the wishes of the parliament. So, here we can say that it should be focused, or it should be supported from the Lok Sabha, what they want to say. Thus, at different levels of any government, we find the functions what to for day to day decisions also, that we exercise supreme power on behalf of people, and all those functions are collectively known as executive. They are called executive because they are in charge of execution of the policies of the government. Thus, when we talk about the government, we can say it means executing. Then you might ask, why does the political executive have more power, non-political executives, and why is the minister more powerful than civil servants? Because the civil servant is usually more educated and have more experts than to knowledge of subject, but the advisor working in the finance ministry know more about economics than the finance minister. So, like this different institutions are there, we can see. This could easily happen in ministers like defense, industry. These are the main institutions, health, science, technology, mining, etc. So, why should the ministers have the final say on these matters? Because the reason is very simple, that in a democracy the will of people is the supreme, isn't it? The minister is elected by the people, and thus it should have the power on their behalf. So, that is why the minister takes all the final decisions. But very often experts hold different opinions, place before her or more than one options, depending on what is the objective, and also what is the minister decides over here. Actually, this happens in any large organization. Those who understand that the overall picture takes most of the important decisions and not the experts. So, the experts can tell the route, okay, but whatever the final decisions are, or what the destination is, it should be taken or decided by them. And in a democracy, elected ministers perform this role. Fine. So, prime ministers and councils of ministers. What is prime ministers or the councils of ministers, we can say? So, prime minister is the most important political institution in the country. Yet there is no direct election to the post of prime minister. The president appoints the prime minister, but the president cannot appoint anyone she likes. The president appoints the leader on the majority party or the coalition of parties then commands a majority in the Lok Sabha. So, we are going to see that in your book itself, what is the meaning of coalition? First also we have seen, children, isn't it? Coalition government means a government which is formed by the alliance of two or more political parties, and usually when no single party enjoys majority support, the member in the legislature. Fine. So, here in case no single party of alliance gets the majority, the president appoints the person most likely to secure a majority support, and the prime minister does not have a fixed tenure. he continues in power so long as he remains the leader of the majority party or the coalitions. Now here we are going to again see or continue with the what after the appointment of the prime minister, the president, how he appoints other ministers on whose advice? On the advice of the prime minister. And the ministers the ministers are usually from the party of the coalition that has majority in the Lok Sabha. The prime minister first he is free to choose ministers as long as they are the members of the parliament. So sometimes a person who is not the member of the parliament can also become a prime minister, can also become a minister, but such a person has to get elected to one of the houses of the parliament within the 6 months of the appointment of the ministers. So councils of minister is the official name for the body that includes all the ministers, and it usually has 60 to 80 ministers of different ranks. Then what is the cabinet, you can say cabinet ministers. So how this appointment of councils of ministers was there? Let us have a conclusion or just small look that after the appointment of prime minister, the president appoints the councils of ministers on the advice of prime minister, and then they are usually from the party of coalition that has majority in the Lok Sabha, and sometimes person who is not a member can also become a minister, but that person has to be get elected to one of the house of parliament within 6 months of his appointment. Then come to cabinet form of government. It is not possible for all the governments, okay. See, in cabinet form of governments, it is not possible for all governments to meet regularly and discuss everything. The decisions are taken in cabinet meeting. So parliament democracy, in parliamentary democracy, here is the most countries often knows that the secretaries provide the necessary backgrounds information and the ministers take the decisions. So what is this cabinet ministers? Here the ministers of the state with independent charge are usually in charge of these smaller ministries, and they participate in the cabinet meetings only when specially invited. So the secretaries provide the necessary background information to the ministers to take these decisions. Here we have discussed that no ministers can openly criticize any decisions of the government, and if only that is the ministers of the department are invited, they can go and for the decisions takings. So we are going to see how the presidents or the main, till now we have seen the execution of the prime minister, and under him how the councils of ministers they work. In the next lecture we are going to see or continue with the president, how he works in the execution of the laws. Fine. Then we will continue the lesson in the next lecture. Thank you, students.